Hello and welcome back to RimWorld. Last time, we started to revamp the main defensive line, which is, I would say, going pretty well so far. I mean, as far as the main defensive line can be going at this point, given that we only have one machine gun on it, which kind of want more than one machine gun. And in talking about the machine gun, we do kind of need to test the machine gun because it just so happens that I really want to see what this thing does. Cherie, I don't care what kind of steel slag you're smelting right now. Nobody cares. Get in that turret. Shoot that turkey to death. No, Cherie, not with your gun. Come on now. Okay, we have to, I think, select that. And then fire on the turkey? Oh, yeah, check it out. Well, I will give you this. It's impressive. I will also say that turkey is completely and totally unintimidated by the situation. Like, I'm sorry. At this point, the turkey gets to live because it, without any effort, has managed to dodge something around 100 bullets. I'm pretty sure that turkey is God and is actually warping space-time around it to not get hit by bullets. Man, it didn't even wake up. That turkey is absolutely savage. It does not care in the slightest. Oh, Wilkins, are you done with your break? Thank goodness. I mean, I'm going to level with you. I don't think Wilkins was going to last very long in that state. And by the way, I may or may not have called Wilkins a woman in the last episode. I'm pretty sure I said there was a mother-daughter combo here. No, Wilkins is actually a guy. They're kind of awkward. Wilkins is very, very annoyed that the strange, somewhat concerning voice in the sky has called him a woman, but, you know, we just have to go with it. It's how it goes. It's not like Wilkins can actually come up and, like, do anything to us, because, you know, we are, of course, the great omnipotent voice in the sky, which... slightly intimidating, you know? I'd be intimidated by the great omnipotent voice in the sky because I don't want to be fighting that, that's for sure. I may not like omnipotent things, but much worse is omnipotent things that also are probably on some level capable of just completely destroying my face, and that's definitely where we sit with Wilkins. Longnose is going to cut down some trees because in addition to the standard defensive line, we do want to make sure that we have a big open field in front of all avenues they could be coming in so they can't take cover behind any trees. So at this point, we'll just make sure that we tear down a few of those trees. That'll get us some wood as well, which I guess we need. I mean, I still hate wood. It's terrible, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Oh yeah? Thunderstorm. Having none of that. I mean, oh, it is a dry thunderstorm. Okay, so that is slightly more intimidating than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a wet, rainy thunderstorm, but okay. Fine. Fine, we'll go with the whole everything's going to be on fire for the next 700 years thing. I get that. Wilkins, I don't mean to be that person, but you appear to be malnourished. Where even is Wilkins right now? Wilkins, I know you want to relax socially, but if you could go eat something, that'd be great, because you really need to not die before you and Fedocia, like, you know, become the first major couple in the colony and potentially create tiny little democratic members of our society. I would hope in the very least that they don't create non-democratic members of our society, because we're not going back to any form of, like, monarchical system or authoritarian system. It ain't happening. We are remaining staunchly democratic, if for no other reason than because, you know, at this point, we might as well. I mean, we switched. You can't really do a take-back on that one. You gotta stick with your governmental decisions. In saying stick with decisions, we do need to make sure that we get the remaining gun turrets now that basically all of the sandbags have been put in place. We're going to start setting up those gun turrets as the big next decision. Is that pointing the wrong direction? Cherie, I'm sorry. Once again, I know you're looking at steel slag, but can you check that? Okay, that's fine. That is, in fact, actually pointing the right direction. I questioned it for just a moment. I should not have questioned Bradley and his team of amazing builders, which I'm sure they're amazing builders. They clearly know what they're doing. They have, after all, built the entirety of the defensive line, and if we don't believe that they're capable of building the defensive line, there is then the question of why in the world did we ever let them do that to begin with? Because it kind of seems like we shouldn't let people who are questionably effective build defensive lines. But it's all under control. So now that we've got this wood floor down, we're actually going to start working on actually tearing that down so that we can see if that does legitimately change that into dirt. Because I'm hoping that's the thing. Because I really want to build a moat, like right along here, but we'll have to see how it goes. We'll have to see. Most of the old defensive line has been torn down, which is beauteous. And basically, we are back at being at full capacity. Our defensive line is all set up. What else could we do? We don't really need any more defenses up until the point that we get mortars, whereas then we're going to set them up like right back here, and we're going to shell the heck out of everyone. I think the next thing we want to focus on is probably something regarding shipbuilding, really. I mean, that's the next big thing. As well as maybe getting our industry back up and running, because we haven't been making smoke leaf in the last 700 years, and actually getting some of that out so we can do some more trading would be, I will admit, quite nice. And you know what? We do have a world map. And in addition to trading, there are places that we can raid. Like this place, the Thief's Plains. We could potentially get in there and do a little raiding party. I don't know how much we'd actually need to be able to do that. That is quite a question. I mean, I'm going to level with you. I don't actually think that our people are prepared for that, because although we've got all the weapons in the world, that is definitely a thing. We have more than enough weapons. Our armor is absolutely atrocious. Like, one dude in power armor could probably tear us apart. I mean, admittedly, that's also not saying much because, you know, there's not much that actually kills one man in power armor. Oh, great. A blight? I mean, at least we already have 303 meals. That is a pretty significant quantity of meals, and I'm pretty sure we'll be okay. Especially given that at last resort, we have, like, what is that, 89 human meat? I mean, I really don't want anyone eating that. I think for obvious reasons. Generally, I'm not all about people eating human meat, but you know what? Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess? And some of them have to eat people? And no, I'm not feeling that. No, I'm not feeling that one. Don't eat anyone, any of you guys. I know we still have that human meat because I'm way too lazy to actually like get it out of the freezer. Because it's just like sitting there. It was probably made by Bob. Bob was like a janitor at one point, and then of course he saw something he shouldn't have. Probably some sort of corporate bribe. And the corporation was like, tisk, 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 Bob. I'm sorry to have to say that your life is over. And of course they then killed Bob. For some reason, cut him up like really nicely into steaks. I mean, look at those steaks. Those are legitimate human steaks. I don't know why they do that after killing Bob. I guess it's just like an intimidation statement. And then they launched him out of a spaceship. It's a really weird situation. Like, really, really weird. I don't 100% understand why the corporation took such, I would call them extreme measures in dealing with Bob. But I guess Bob deserved it? Question mark? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I don't even know. I don't get involved in the corporate system, the corporate disciplinary system, because it's generally for the best that we just, you know, let the corporate let the corporate disciplinary system do their thing, and then just continue to live under what is clearly not a corporate disciplinary system. Why is everyone doing mining? Why is literally everyone right now doing mining? Jeez. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, because we do want steel. I mean, the big thing that we really want is basically any form of components, because I don't know if you've noticed, but we are very, very low on components. And by very, very low, I mean we have basically 0. And we need quite a few to actually build those turret placements. I'm not seeing a single bit of component literally anywhere on the map right now. Well, my people, this is going to be a bit problematic, isn't it? How much silver do we have? This is very important. Let's see. 3,000 silver. Okay. Wilkins, how would you feel about calling in a potential little trade caravan, eh? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? It's going to cost us 600 silver, but I think that'll be worth it. Yvonne Raw greets Wilkins warily and asks his business warily. Dude, why would you be concerned about us? Just get in here. We need, like, I think a bulk goods trader. Yeah, come on in. We'll pay you 600 cash monies and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They're going to freak out. They're going to come in here. They're going to be like, oh, mate, I thought you were going to sell us, like, tons of good stuff. I thought you were going to buy all of our stuff. We're literally just going to punch them in the face. Like, I am not against killing a trade caravan if it means the continued survival of the colony. Especially once we actually get our main defensive line up and running. And potentially maybe a secondary defensive line in here. You know, we probably do need internal defenses when I think about it. Because there is always a chance that someone tunnels through, like, this wall. Or someone breaks through the defensive line. There has to be one last-ditch effort. Like, we could set up some sandbags here and potentially in this area. Like, if we do a bit of planning here. Let's do some planning. Architect, I want to actually do planning. If we set up, like, a bit of sandbags in this position so that it can fire out into the fields in case they come through here. And in case they get through the front door, we set up a little bit of a sandbag situation here. And then, I don't know, this looks like a pretty good vantage point for here. Just get a little sandbag right here. And that would basically make it so that I'm pretty sure, just saying, I think we'd be pretty well secured if we had a system sort of like that, with a few sandbag positions just all throughout the colony. That would be nice. I mean, it will also make us look a lot more like an authoritarian dictatorship, but, you know, there's a difference between appearances and realities. Sometimes people argue it's not actually that much, and in the case of this particular colony, that may be the case, because although we do pretend to be democratic, I'm pretty sure that the majority of these democratic leaders don't care much about, really anything outside of maintaining their own position. Which I guess is for the best. It does cause them to pander to the people, but it's mostly pandering. And I'm pretty sure Bradley, being the vice president, is very annoyed at having been the vice president. And maybe fomenting revolution. So, you know, there's just those small, like, what would you even call those? Political games. That's right. That's what you would call it. Yeah, no, it's very much not good. Can we get the compacted machinery instead of the marble? I mean, I appreciate your zeal, Aiden, but I don't care about the marble at all. That was just kind of there for the sake of being there. There we go. She's getting the compacted machinery. That should be enough to set up at least one of these turrets, which I think will be this one, which is nice. And then we need, what, 12 more? Oh, my word. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. So, the one thing that we lack is the one thing that is the most important thing to any civilization in RimWorld. The existence of these little pieces, otherwise known as components. They are the key to all of society, which is kind of weird. I mean, it is kind of strange that they are so expensive for what they are. I mean, they'd probably be less scarce if someone actually decided to go deal with, building components, but you know what? What is our position to judge everyone who's doing work in this colony? I'm pretty sure they're well enough off. I mean, currently nobody's been killed in the last, I don't know, a few days, months, season? Has it been one season since someone was killed? That might be a thing. That'd be nice. I mean, that's basically a record, isn't it? Someone not having died for an entire season? Oh my goodness. Because it's definitely the case that Miso does not count in those deaths, because he was a disgusting, filthy prisoner. Nobody liked him to begin with, and his execution was really a great morale booster for the rest of the colony. Just saying. I think now that we're really looking at getting more resources, tearing down these cryosleep caskets will be a good move. We don't necessarily want to tear down all of them because they can be pretty useful in situations where people are severely injured. We can just stick them in one of those until, we get some sort of surgery robot. Something like that. Oh my word, look at it. Oh, this is how civilization is supposed to work. Everyone just sitting at a desk, listening to the leader. It's beautiful. Just beautiful. Do these not give components? Oh, that is really annoying. Oh, that is the worst. I really thought those would give some form of component. Well, we're definitely going to have to wait for the actual trading colony if we're going to get any additional components outside of what's built from here. Which I do feel like more people need to start working on that because that's kind of a problem. I mean, we do also need the production of smokeweed. That is pretty important given that we are getting a trade caravan in pretty soon. And smokeweed is more or less the only thing that we sell. So, having a trade caravan and actually having something that we sell, the combination of those two things are probably kind of useful. And I'm gonna guess that the caravan is expecting to purchase something out of this colony, as well as, us buying stuff. So we can't let them, think that we're some form of fools not having stuff to purchase. That would be terrible. We would lose so much street cred. And quite frankly, what is more important in this colony than street cred? I would say very little. Okay, we're gonna set up the authoritarian roadblocks all over the place, just to make certain that the colony is well protected and that any potential revolutions are put down as soon as possible, but mostly that the colony is protected. Almost 100%. 80%. Okay, maybe at most, just guessing, probably 40% of the reason that we're putting these in is colony defense. And the other 60% is putting down revolutions. Look, I understand. You think it's a corrupt system. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Look, everyone's happy. When you point a gun at people, everyone smiles, and everyone is smiling right now. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. Cherie is totally going to lead a popular uprising with her sniper rifle. She's just going to, shoot Bradley in the face. Because she actually kind of likes Magar, and although she's clearly the leader of this terribly corrupt system, which has suddenly become terribly corrupt, Cherie does understand that Magar is just a tool in the system, which is ultimately run by Bradley, who, although being the vice president, is actually the person far more in charge. That's right. This conspiracy grows thicker and thicker. Basically because I've decided that there's a really thick conspiracy. I mean, that's kind of how I roll, so, it's got to be expected. Can we put another horseshoe in there? Nobody can actually play horseshoes right now, and it annoys me like nobody's business. You need 2 poles to actually play horseshoes. Anyway, for now, that will actually bring us to the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we will continue to work on getting components as much as possible. We already have basically all of the steel we need for the guns. We just need to get in that remaining components. And once we get those, we will have a defensive line, which is arguably, and this is very arguably, impenetrable. It will be beautiful. Anyway, until then, thanks for watching, and of course, as always, enjoy the rest of your day.